Good afternoon, or actually it's still morning, Team Fit Dynasty, and I wanted to pop in and give 4 tips for rocking social media. I am still rather new at this, and I'm not really going to talk to you about building your market and moving people from your cold market to your warm market. That's another training for another day because it's something I'm still trying to figure out. But I just want to give you 4 tips for creating images and text that's going to really help you to gain engagement and interest in yourself and what you are trying to sell. Because remember, what you're trying to sell is you. You're trying to sell the trust people will have in you as their coach, as someone they can look to for great recipes, for motivation. You're not just here to sell Beachbody products. So let's keep that in mind. So the first tip that I have for you is to make your images scroll stopping. What a scroll stopping image is bright, minimal text, it's clear, right? And it's showing a real life moment. So yes, we all have our posed pictures in the car with our shake, and we all have our flexing pictures. Those are awesome. Keep them coming. But when you are showing pictures of your real life, when you are showing pictures mid-workout, when you are showing any kind of image where it's happening in the slice of the moment, it still has to be clear. Because if I'm scrolling through my news feed, and hopefully you're not wasting your time scrolling through news feeds, hopefully only your potential clients are, instead you're working on your business. But if I'm scrolling through a news feed and I see a choppy image where it's like half of a person, it's rather blurry, or there's so many pictures put together, or a lot of moving things going on, or too much text, or I'm not even sure if it's a workout or what it is, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. But if it's bright, it catches my attention, and it's sharp, I'm definitely going to stop and take a look and pay attention. So how do we make our images bright? Trust me, it doesn't happen automatically. Try to use the original camera on your phone as much as possible. The front camera is going to create a little bit of a blurriness. I know that's difficult, and I use my front camera a lot, but then go into your photos and edit them. You can edit the settings and make your pictures brighter. It really will make a big difference if you can brighten up your images before you post them to social media. When you're going to post them to social media, play around with filters as well. Do not just pick the first filter you see because it worked on your last image, but you want to play around because Claridon or Clarendon, whatever it is, I don't know how to say it, thank you, Jack, is my favorite filter for me. And I typically use it on any selfie. But there are sometimes, like yesterday, I went to post a picture of Paxton and I went to use that filter and he looked ridiculous. So don't just go to what always seems to work. Play around. Give yourself a few minutes to play around. But going into your settings and brightening up your images first makes a huge difference. I will put in the comments a picture I took of myself this morning. I was trying to check out my back muscles, and I took a picture with my camera in my mirror, and I'll show you what it looked like before I brightened it and then after, and it makes such a difference. So I'll comment with that below. You also want minimal text, and you want minimal text for 2 reasons. Now, if you're putting up a quote, that's awesome. Or something like, I don't know if you saw Christine Weaver's post last night. She had some text up top, text below her image. I could still see her face, and I could read it. It was nice and big and bold, and it was complimentary. Oh, hey, Christine, you're on. It was complimentary to the actual text in the body of her post. You do not want the message you're sending, all the information to be on the picture itself. People are not going to take the time to read that. They're not going to stop and read that. It's going to get lost in translation, and oftentimes it's too much and it makes the text far too small for us to see. So you want the text to be in the actual comment or what the caption of your image on Instagram or on Facebook as much as possible. When you are transitioning an image from Instagram to Facebook, and I recommend posting on Instagram first because now you'll have brightened it and you'll get that filter and that'll save in your camera roll, and then you can upload that to Facebook. Don't copy the text as is, okay? Space it out a little bit differently. Facebook looks different. It shows more text. So give some spaces. If you ever look at a post that I put on Instagram, I tend to try to give paragraphing as best as you can. Instagram spacing is weird, but when I get over to Facebook, I make sure I've paragraphed it and it chunks the text and it just makes it a little bit more digestible. And I take out most of the hashtags when I move over to Facebook as well. And I've noticed that's really helped my reach. Fewer hashtags on Facebook is going to help your reach, so keep that in mind. With reach in mind, text on an image is not going to be put into a news feed. It's just not. So if you have an image where it's you, a couple different images, you with your shake, you with your meal, or a picture of your meal, a picture of whatever, and all of these things on the text, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Facebook's algorithms aren't going to push that through because people on Facebook don't want to read something in a picture. They want to read the commentary. So Facebook's not going to waste its time putting that on a lot of news feeds. So do not do that as much as possible. Please keep the text off your pictures, nice and crisp. And don't worry about fun borders and stuff. A cool picture is much better than a fun border. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Yes, I love what Jacqueline's saying. Less hashtags, and if you use some in your copy, use the cute or funny ones. Then add your seeking hashtags in the first comment on Instagram. So true, so true. And that's the other thing, now that Jess mentioned the seeking comments, don't always use, and I'm guilty of this as well, don't always use just the hashtags Team Fit Dynasty or Tribe Redefine, Beachbody Coach, you know, or don't just use the name of your boot camp and something else, because no one's out there searching those things. No one's going to be searching Team Fit Dynasty. It helps us when we are trying to promote one another, and I can click on that hashtag and see all the recent posts, and then I can comment and love on all your stuff. But it doesn't help anybody find you who's not already associated with you, if that makes any sense. So as Jack's pointing out, you want your seeking hashtag, the thing you're going with, like Hot Mess Moms or 3-month-old baby, whatever it is, something that you think people are going to be searching. Jack could probably give us a much more insight than I can on that. So that was all number one, making your image scroll stopping. My second tip is to tell a story. So you don't just need to put up a picture of your workout and say, this was my favorite move. That gets old. You don't need to just put up a picture of your meal and say, this fit into my goals. But you want to tell a story. Maybe say something along the lines of, 2 years ago, I would have never thought that this was the meal that I or my kids would be eating. Now it's a regular occurrence, and who would have known that it was a fitness program that brought it to my attention? You know, something like that, telling some sort of a story. And a story is a conflict with a resolution. Sorry, I'm an English teacher. I can't help myself. So it's not just telling of an experience, but it's showing a problem and how it's been solved. That how it's been solved or how you're trying to solve it is very relatable to people. Nobody is perfect. So when you put up a picture and be like, look, I did my workout, it's not telling a story. I'm going to use Christine Weaver again just because I just saw this and I know she's on, but she posted a picture with her girls eating their donuts and her shake in the picture. And, you know, look, they're going camping and she wants to stay on track. So they are still having their regular donut date, but she's making sure her goals are set before they leave for vacation. Problem, you know, their schedules are a little off. Solved with her quick shake, girls get their donuts, everyone's happy. So just always look at it that way, kind of telling a little arc. I want to read what Jack said. Get a hashtag app. I can link to a few in a bit. Yes, perfect. Thank you. That would be huge. That is a new thing for me. So thank you, Jack. So tell a story. The third thing you want to do to have success with your images, if you're done telling a story or you don't have a story to tell, is to ask a question. You could say that this would be a good call to action. You know, I could make tip number 3 a call to action, but it's very rare for people in our position to get a share. You know, if we're like, share this if you think it's really cool. I mean, Jessica Oliva gets shares all the time. She's got a gazillion followers, but we, I think, are still new and still building, and we don't get the shares when I'm like, hey, this recipe's cool, share it. You know, it doesn't always happen. I find a lot more success when I ask a question, and I'm finding success when I ask questions on the content I'm sharing. So if I find a recipe I like or an article from Scary Mommy or something that I found relevant, instead of just saying, hey, this is helpful, I have found myself asking a question about it and it gets more engagement. So just something to consider. Don't just ask a question like, hey, my kids and I had a donut date today. Do you ever have donuts with your kids? But here's a cool article about car seats. What brand do you find most reliable? That kind of stuff is going to get attention. People love being an expert. So they might not always act like they want to relate to you, but if you ask them their opinion on something, they love being an expert, they love showing off, so asking questions is super helpful. My final tip is to remember, you are promoting you, we are not promoting a product. Beachbody is a byproduct to this. So please look back at your most recent posts and make sure you are present in more of them than your Shakeology cup. Make sure your life is present more so than just your workouts, because you want to be relatable. You want to remember who you were before you joined this company, before you joined this team. You want to make sure that you are letting people know that you are not always sweaty and drinking a shake, right? You want them to know that you have a life outside of this so that they can see themselves in your world and also being sweaty and drinking a shake eventually. So make sure you're promoting you. So even when you're posting your sweaty selfies and your shake pics, get the Shakeology bag out and, leave a little curiosity. Don't always, give some content for free. Give that shake recipe today. But tomorrow instead, show how much you love s'mores, and now you don't have to eat them at the campfire because you've got this really cool recipe. If people want it, they can comment for it. Do those kinds of things that build curiosity. People are buying based on you. Yes, there are 1 million Beachbody coaches in this world. Not really. There's like 450,000 or something like that in this country. But people chose you, and they chose me, and they chose Jessica and Mindy and Nicole for a reason. And they did that because they connected with you on some sort of level. So do not think that people are buying from you because they love Shakeology and they love Shift Shop. People are buying from you because they love you and they see themselves fitting into your story and they see themselves connecting with you. When you remember that and you're just real and honest and share yourself, it's going to take you so far in this business, I promise. And now something I shared with my team yesterday, I'm just going to give us a little bonus. Keep in mind that this is a long game business. So for those of you that just signed up or have hit a little snag, please know that just because no one's catching on to that lead generator you posted last night and you haven't had a sale this week or you didn't hit Success Club yet this month, that doesn't mean that what you're doing each day this month isn't planting seeds for next month or 3 months down the line. And I'll use my girl Leslie as an example. Leslie, though she was pregnant when I first became a coach, watched and watched and watched and watched and watched and watched for months. And it was quite a few months after Sam was born before I finally messaged her for like the 1 millionth time and she jumped in. And beyond someone like Leslie, I had a customer this morning purchase a challenge pack who first contacted me back in April, really interested, and then she had a wedding coming up, she had a few excuses, and then she stopped responding. But I messaged her consistently, not every week, but maybe every other week. I'd share if I was doing a free group, and then sometimes I would just say, hey, how's your summer going? Yesterday, I happened to message her because I saw she was shopping for school uniforms for her son, and I just messaged and said, oh my gosh, Jenna, I cannot believe your son's old enough to need a school uniform. She responded and said, thank you so much, and I'm finally ready. Right? Because I kept investing in her. So remember, it's a long game. These posts, if this one post bombs, that doesn't mean it's actually bombing. It's leaving a trail. It's leaving a track record, and it's showing people you believe in this business. You're not here for a quick buck. You're here for the long haul. Hope this makes sense. I went on a little tangent. What else is new? I got to get my workout in. Tell me to go away. Talk to you soon. And Jack, thank you for all that advice, and I'll post those pictures. Have a good one.